Rises.
But then
I guess he's trying to make vague comments on the economic situation because he uses real Occupy Wall Street people, but...
See, the problem though with his basic political thesis in the film, that the rich people are getting richer so poor people... Like, that's what it's playing off, isn't it?
Yeah, but probably a bit boring. But then at the end of the day, there's Batman, who's a super rich millionaire who's going to save all the poor people.
Yeah. And also the fact that the villain is essentially a revolutionary who's sort of on Occupy Wall Street's side.
Yeah.
I know he's using it to his own advantage, but he's basically trying to say, if you look at the film and what happens, it's basically trying to say, without rich people giving us order, the poor would run riot.
Basically. It's trying to re-establish, like, neoconservative values, essentially.
Yeah.
The people need a rich white person to give some kind of order.
Yeah.
You know, the politicians are corrupt, and all these socialist vigilantes who are trying to rise up and change the world are essentially wrong, and they need, like I said, some kind of rich billionaire playboy with all these fancy gadgets to lead them into the light.
Yeah.
It's a little bit like in Man of Steel as well, where like basically the thesis of that film is what the world needs is a powerful, macho white man to lead them to a better society.
Yeah.
Fuck no. Fuck that. Seriously. Now I'm more thinking about it. Fuck Dark Knight Rises.
What, have you never, did you not think about
it? I went from liking the film, and then when I rewatched it I didn't like it as much, and then I can consider it more and more and more. And then when I think about the actual, like...
message.
Political elements of it, yeah, I like it less and less. Because at least with Dark Knight, Batman's always been a character where it's a bit dodgy about his political stance, but at least in Dark Knight it's ambiguous, and it's interesting because Joker's deconstructing the legend, he's deconstructing Batman. This one does nothing with it.
No. It doesn't really do much. There's not even... Basically, comic books should be... Right, you can comment on things in a vague way, but you need to have some pulpy elements to it, don't you?
Yeah, I agree.
There's no wrong with pulp. It's got a bad reputation for some reason.
Well, the Marvel films are fine.
Yeah.
The Marvel films are bright, breezy, and a lot of fun. You know, it's nice seeing bright, breezy, fun films.
Yeah. But even, like, you can have violent films that are, like, comment on politics and stuff that are still fun. You remember The Wild Bunch?
Oh yes, The Wild Bunch, yeah.
How fun that is.
Yeah, it's a great movie, but it's really all about fascism and, you know, that kind of stuff. It's a great movie.
About the death of the West, but you actually watch it entertained.
Yeah, a good... if you're going to do allegory, because that's, I think, what Nolan's trying to go for, Animal Farm, right?
Yeah.
Animal Farm is perfect allegory. You could read Animal Farm as, like, a children's story about some animals taking over a farm.
Yep.
But you can also read it as a comment on the Russian Revolution and Stalin's rule. Yeah. Basically. And you can enjoy it as either way. You can read it as a simple children's story or not.
Yeah.
So that example you just gave.
Yeah. So yeah, rather than some white playboy taking over, like, basically trying to take over, like, Gotham from the revolutionaries. Because, like, you've got to think, when he takes over, it's just going to go back to what it was. Yeah.
Well, what's ultimately Batman going to do?
Yeah.
Who's going to look after the city? That's all the interesting things. Like, who's going to actually look after Gotham? How's it going to go to shit again? Will it go to shit again? I don't know. Yeah. I don't think the film really cares.
No.
It just ends with Batman surviving a nuclear explosion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Possibly.
It's possibly surviving. It's almost as ridiculous as the opening of... And Christ, how long for the days of the 60s movie where Batman gets attacked by a shark and stuff, and it's a lot of fun and colourful, and I mean, like, I'm all up for, like, obviously reinterpreting these kind of comic books in darker ways if you guys got something interesting to say, a la Dark Knight. Yeah. But if you don't, you should probably stay away from the aesthetic, because at the end of the day, these are very, very silly things. Yeah. And essentially they were made to sell toys to kids. Yeah. You know, comics are a very pulpy thing that, you know, essentially we just had adverts in there for stuff for kids to buy. You don't think that praising conservative values is the right thing to do in a film about a giant Batman? Basically, yeah. It's a bit dodgy, especially when it's on a mass scale. The film and all, though, the thing that I found odd is it's trying to go for the darker aesthetic and to be the darkest entry and the epicest. But it's also epicest. It's not even a word, is it? No. The most epic. But it's also trying
to go for like big crowd pleasing moments.
Yeah, yeah.
The worst one is where he's rising up, again rising from his pit. Thing, and then the prisoners laughably all go rise, 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 and then when he does, they even cut to a shot of them all going yay.
I'm like, yeah.
They actually do that. They like put their hands up and like clap and stuff.
Or like the moment when Batman like returns to Gotham and he lights the thing and the Batman logo appears on the side of the bridge. It's like, how did Batman like?
It's set a day as well before.
Yeah.
Isn't it? There are a lot of problems with time compression.
I mean, like, I'm ultimately not a nitpicky person. I don't care, but like, sometimes I do find them quite amusing. I just think, like, well, how did Bruce Wayne get back to Gotham? Like, did he buy a ticket? Did he have his passport with him? How did he get on the plane? Oh, sir, you look a bit unwell. When I let you on the plane, you look a bit malnourished, to be honest. Where have you just been? Oh, I've just escaped from a prison. Oh, a prison? Yeah, you know, that infamous prison with all the worst people ever in that giant pit. Oh, well, I'm sorry, sir, but we can't let you on the plane. What? Why? Well, you just came from the worst hellhole in the entire world, and you don't have a passport. Oh. And then Gotham just goes to shit.
What they'd have fucking done, they'd have let him on, but the guy behind him, wearing a turban, wouldn't have gotten on.
Oh.
Political humour there.
Political humour.
Every stand-up comic since 2001 there.
Yeah. So, to summarise.
But the problem with that, though, again, to go back to why it's a problem, because a film can get away with these lapses in time.
Yeah, because ultimately it doesn't matter.
But the problem is, it's set up that it's this big impregnable... Basically, the stakes are Gotham is impregnable, no one can get in or out, so they have to resolve everything inside.
Yeah.
But he can get out with no money or access to anything.
Yeah.
So it completely breaks... Because this is in the... he becomes poor, Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Another thing they could have played more with. He's poor, now how is he going to be Batman?
Yeah, that's true, yeah, but we don't. He just somehow manages to break into Wayne Manor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they do literally nothing with what they've got. It's ridiculous. I mean, and like when it does take over everything, like the thing, there's not like open riots in the street like there would be in real life, but there are executions as well.
Oh yeah, yeah.
There's a bizarre like judge and jury system going on.
Oh.
It never like it just
it doesn't cohere.
Yeah.
That's it's a big formless mess which it's trying to be intelligent and topical when it's really not.
No.
That's what I think about the film.
It even just ends in a big riot scene.
Yeah, but it's...
Oh yeah, my worst part.
Oh god, yeah. Well, we'll talk. I think we've gone off for ages now, so we'll wrap up by talking about the ending.
The ending, yeah. Well, the ending. Basically, Bane works for Ra's al Ghul's daughter,
Talia al Ghul.
Talia al Ghul,
which is a thing in the comics,
but does not work.
No, absolutely not. Because the big reveal at the end is that Bane all along was working for Talia al Ghul because Bane loved Talia.
But the problem is that that twist is done 10 minutes before the end, and then both Bane and her are killed incredibly easily.
Yeah, like Bane's built up to be like this big, massive guy. Like no one can take him on, not even Batman can, and Catwoman just shoots him.
Yeah.
Like seriously, Catwoman just shoots him, and then that's it, and he's gone. It's even kind of almost off screen, a little bit. And then it's revealed that this highly uninteresting character called Talia is the true mastermind behind it all, and she's driving a truck,
and then she crashes and dies,
and she's the worst death scene ever. She's like, Gotham is doomed.
She actually does it like. Yeah, it's just like, what were they thinking with that reveal?
Well, I said it is a thing in the comics that Talia al Ghul is Ra's al Ghul's daughter. Batman did have a relationship with her. I don't know whether to appease the fans, but like seriously, like with these things you've got to adapt them. Yada yada yada. Stuff in the comics doesn't always work because they're pulpy, you know. I don't think having that reveal works at all. That only was in there to appease fans of the comics.
But again, it's like they had enough with Bane.
Yeah, I agree.
What they should have done was just like the film has a perfect ending where it could have just been that Batman fights Bane and then what's it called? Gary Oldman's character.
Jim Gordon.
Officer Gordon has to get the truck. They've got things working there that is perfectly fine to do a conclusion to a film, and it would have been more epic if Batman had to beat his ultimate enemy who broke his back and stuff. But they don't. They decide to make it even more epic because they can't just have one epic thing. It has to be bigger.
It's going bigger and more epic and grand.
Exactly. Batman can't just rescue the city. He has to kill himself.
He has to rescue the city from a nuclear explosion.
Exactly. Do you know? No, in the end of the film, he takes it like it's something ridiculous, like hundreds of miles in 5 minutes. It's something like that.
Yeah, so all I could think was like, well, Batman probably doesn't have enough time to like take his bomb out into the bay, and chances are, places near the sea are very windy. The nuclear radiation's probably going to blow over Gotham and kill everybody.
Yeah.
Or irradiate everybody.
And again, this wouldn't be a problem if it was a pulp film, but the realistic aesthetic he's going for makes it a problem.
Yeah.
And we're not even, I mean, we didn't even talk about Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character.
Oh yeah, I haven't even touched upon it.
Another
pointless character. I always forget he's in there. I hate that. I hate how Joseph Gordon-Levitt works out that he's Batman just because of how he looked.
Yeah.
He had the look of someone who could be Batman. It's like, what?
Yeah.
What is instead of like being like a careful investigation where he puts the pieces together and he's obsessing over Batman. No, he's like, oh, I could tell from the look that you were Batman. I remember you came to an orphanage when I was a boy and you had a look of somebody who was tortured. Maybe someone who could even dress up as a bat.
Yeah.
And then of course there's a reveal at the end where it's like, why don't you start using your real name, so and so, Robin?
Oh, it
it's
doesn't even work.
It's horrible. Because like he's not even going to become Robin. He's going to become the new Batman.
Yeah.
So like why?
But Robin wasn't Robin's real name.
No, Robin's real name was oh fuck me. Actually.
Grace Camperson.
Grace Camperson. No, it was oh god.
Anyway, it is the problem with the film. To sum it up, is it's trying to be too serious with too many fantastical elements. Hundreds of plot lines. Yeah, because you think of the plot lines, you've got Batman in there, Bane, then you've got the Talia thing at the end, then you've got Catwoman, Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Catwoman trying to steal the diamonds.
Yeah. Officer Gordon. Officer Gordon's police buddy.
Oh yeah.
Who gets an entire like story arc.
Yeah.
Alfred's problem with
Alfred's rants. Alfred dreaming about his dream holiday.
Exactly, Alfred's Thomas Cook experience. Yeah, you've got 8 main plot lines there.
All trying to fight for control.
All trying to fight for... Oh, you've also got, right at the beginning, the people trying to control Bane, they have an arc where they're trying to take over Gotham.
Oh, yeah.
You've got just... and then you've got, like... I suppose you could even argue that the people in the... Like, Batman trying to... like rise in the prison is another story arc.
Yeah.
It's just a complete fucking mess.
So a score out of 10.
I'd give it 2, maybe even a 1.
Ooh.
I just hate the film. I hate everything about it. It fills me up with anger.
I would give it a 2. I give it two bats out of 10.
2 bats out of 10.
Two respiratory masks out of 10.
I'll give it a 1.
A rare one.
A rare one. I would say that this is one of the worst. This film annoys me more than like Man of Steel or Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Oh my god.
Because those films may be dreadful, but they have no promise in them at all.
That's true, yeah. Yeah, they at least establish that.
Yeah.
But this one with the creative talent behind it all.
Exactly, like Amazing Spider-Man 2, yeah, it's dreadful. It was never going to be other than dreadful, but at least its problems are like, at least in all, it's at least quite funny to watch how bad it is.
That's true, yeah.
And also it isn't as loathsome that in its like political message. Right, you think of it, it's a pretty innocuous film, isn't it? It's not trying to say anything.
It's not offensive at any kind of level, really.
Exactly. Man of Steel is getting more offensive, but again, it's the problems it's got are more laughable. Like no one could take it seriously that so many people die. And like
yeah. And Superman never rescues anybody.
Well, it gives no weight. Is the difference between Dark Knight Rises and Man of Steel is that the problems in Man of Steel have no weight to them.
Yeah.
There's no. It doesn't really matter if he rescues Metropolis.
One day, you will lead them into the light, and they'll walk in the sun.
But in Dark Knight Rises, you're meant to care about these people and to care about the political message, but the political message is odious.
It's horrible,
and, yeah, the characters are like ill-defined and everything's it's just a complete mess.
Yeah, 2 out of 10 for me.
A 1. Fuck this film.